Miracle Center and the conferences, and there's no question about it, we wouldn't have the conference going on today if at that San Francisco conference, you know, at the beginning of it, there was this kind of iffy energy, and people were wondering what was going on, and Lisa Natoli, she just started going forward like, this is tremendous, this is healing, Boston's going to be amazing, and she just started talking, and it just swept into this crescendo, and everybody just went along and got on that wave, but she led the charge on that wave, and so that's something I really will always appreciate. Thank you so much. We're riding that wave, girls, so let's all have a nice round of applause for Lisa Natoli.
Okay. Well, you know, what Bill Flee said today, I really truly believe is the truth. We were coming here this morning, and in the car we were saying that really this is not about the teachers. This isn't about being here learning something. It's in the joining. That's all it is. It's from start to finish. Jesus says in the Course in Miracles that you cannot do this without your brother. You cannot see your own beliefs without seeing them in another. That's the speed up. This is a celestial speed up. And I'm going to do a writing exercise with all of you today. We're going to move some mountains. And actually, I saw the schedule last week, but I was almost last. And I was like, well, that's perfect, because then I can just listen to what everybody else says, and I'll just tie it up with a pretty bow, and I won't have to prepare and plan anything to say here. And so both Kimberly and Vicki were talking about moving mountains. And we're going to move mountains today because in Workbook Lesson 135, Jesus gives us kind of a formula for healing. And I believe what Tony says is that Jesus is talking about physical healing. It says so many times that the body's health is guaranteed, the body will be strong and healthy, but then he gives a lot of buts. And he's so clear, and he says, the body is in no need of healing. This cannot be too often emphasized. Okay? I want you to hear it out of your own mouth. Okay? I want you to say it. The body is in no need of healing. Again. The body is in no need of healing. This cannot be too often emphasized. This cannot be too often emphasized. Okay, what did you just say? This cannot be too often emphasized. Okay. So I don't know about you, but I had a physical condition for the last 5 years that even though I'd read those words, I was trying to heal the body. And it didn't work. So 5.5 years ago, January 2013, I started having flu-like symptoms, vomiting, whatever. And I thought it was the flu at first, and then it just didn't go away. It just kept continuing. And then it was diagnosed as autoimmune, and they said it's incurable. And it came with symptoms, and they came and they went. And of course, I did what most people do. I started going on the internet. I started looking for what is autoimmune, what are these symptoms, how do the world cure them. And this is the exercise we're going to do today. I want us to look at what our world beliefs on healing. What does the world say? Because these beliefs are in all of our minds. What are your individual beliefs on healing? So, if you have a particular sickness, what do you think about it? And then what is the truth? And so, what I did was I tried for many years to heal the body. Various things, special diets, supplements, all sorts of different things. And it doesn't work. And Jesus is very clear in the Course. He says some of these things will work, But until you heal the cause of the sickness, which is your belief in separation and the belief that you're a body, it will manifest as something else again. So you have to get to the real problem, which is your belief. And this is what you talked about this morning, Vicki, is, I don't know how you said it, but it was so brilliant I've forgotten what it was. But it was something about moving mountains. It was something about moving your beliefs, but I don't remember what the actual word was. But that's what moving mountains is you're going to find your false beliefs and you are going to move them. And so then what I did after I read what the world says on autoimmune is that it's not curable and you can lessen the symptoms. And I was not satisfied with that. I just thought, no, I have a Course in Miracles, and I know what it says. And what I feel like, and this is my invitation to all of you today, is that there have been things in time and space that once upon a time, people didn't think it was possible. So once upon a time, we used to use candles. We didn't know about electricity. But the law existed, correct? The law was always there, and then some individuals who were relentless said, we're going to figure it out. We're just going to figure it out. And of course, other people say not possible. But those individuals who have that fire in their heart, that calling, that vision, is like, I love scientists, I do. And sometimes I think I was a scientist in a past lifetime. But it's like they're always back in the lab. And when something doesn't work, they don't give up. They just go, okay, well, we're just going to continue what we're doing. And, I'm inspired by the Wright brothers, because once upon a time, we used horses to get places. At first we didn't have automobiles, and someone figured that one out. And then the Wright brothers had an idea. Everything's inspired by our own divine mind. I think we can fly. And people think that is ridiculous. And that's what people say about healing. Right now, it's not possible to cure cancer. It's not possible to heal whatever. And if people think it is possible, it's something special. Some people have a special ability. These are all beliefs. And the Wright brothers, they got that plane off the ground for a few seconds. But when that plane goes off the ground for a few seconds, it's done. It's totally done. It must be possible now. And so those two brothers then said, okay, we're doing it. Like, we're going for it. And that's what I want to inspire in you today, is for you to have that attitude that this is your life work. And you are not going to heal the body. Who's done with healing the body? And it's a tough one, because it's like, well, what will happen? Well, I'll never be healed. If I stop trying to heal the body, then I'll always be sick. And so then the next thing I did was I was like, okay, I'm done healing the body. And you know what I did next? I tried to heal the mind to heal the body. Like, the ego is so tricky. It's just like, it was like, no, I don't care about the body, but I did. And so what I started to do is I really was just spending this time with Jesus saying, how is healing accomplished really? Like, what is healing and how is healing accomplished? And even though I know there's a whole section in the manual for teachers, I just thought there's got to be more to this. Like, I wasn't satisfied with that answer. It says healing is accomplished the instant the sufferer sees no value in pain. And I thought, well, I've done that. Like, I see no value in pain and I'm letting it go, and I'm still experiencing pain and sickness. So I just thought, well, that's not it. And it became this like really deep, what is going on in front of me? Is this deep longing to be shown. And so there came this point, it was about a year ago, when I said, okay, I'm done really. Like, I am really done trying to heal the body. And the word heal literally means whole. That's the origin of the word heal. It means whole. So to be healthy means to be whole. A healer is only somebody who helps another remember their wholeness. But the world has made healing a very complicated, very difficult, very special thing. But it's not. Healing is nothing more than to remember your wholeness. And the way Jesus describes it is that you remove the blocks and the obstacles to the awareness of what's present. So in each of us is a light. That light never dies. That light is ready to radiate out from you. But we're not allowing that light to radiate out from us because of fear, because of these blocks. And so he gives us a formula. I mean, I love Jesus so much, but it's like a total paradox. Like, he says the body is in no need of healing. And he actually says there is no need of healing, period. But then he says there is. Like, it's like if you can read different sentences in different locations in the Course, it seems to contradict himself. But he knows where we think we are in time and space as bodies. And so he meets us there. That's what kind of a teacher he is. He says, I know you believe in the sickness. So I'm going to meet you where you think you are. And I'm going to lead you with simple, gentle steps. But you have to be willing to do the work with me. And the reason I'm so inspired by Helen Schuckman and Bill Thetford is because of the collaboration. And I truly believe that that's what healing is about. So you're collaborating now with yourself. Your little self that believes in the sickness, and the self that knows not of healing, and it knows your wholeness. So you're in a collaboration now, and you're cooperating with it. So you have to start really looking at, okay, what are my beliefs? What are my resistances? And am I willing to let them go? Today somebody said, I think it might have been Bill, on the Course, all healing is a release from the past. So I had an experience then where the major symptoms did start to fall away. Like, you stop paying attention to them. And he says, put your focus on the truth. And that became my dedication a year ago. I said, okay, to the best of my ability, I'm going to focus on my wholeness, the light that I am, and I'm not going to focus on the body. And if I die, because that was my thought, I'm dying. That was like my thought for the last 5 years, I'm dying. And then there's a thought that I can't teach until I'm healed.
It's a hawk.
And we all have these kinds of thoughts. What is it?
Oh, it's a hawk.
Red tail hawk?
No, it didn't have a red tail. No, it wasn't a red tail. It had sharp wings like this.
That's awesome.
I don't know what it was.
It appeared just as
Watch it like a hawk. Watch it just like a hawk. I thought that's what it was. That's funny. And so I've really dedicated my life to this work. Like, you only can take it to the speed by which it feels comfortable for you. Like he says, like, I don't want to increase fear in you. So whenever I teach, I always teach, don't do what I'm doing. Like, and in this world, we have to go by the medical establishment. So in all the programs that we offer, I always say, don't change anything in the physical. I don't tell anyone to ever stop their medications. I say don't do anything without checking with your doctor, because your beliefs are so powerful that if you just listen to what I say, but you haven't corrected the belief and replaced it with the truth, you are going to get the effects. For example, if you're diabetic, and you just say, oh my God, I don't need to heal the body. Oh my God, I'm not diabetic. Oh my God, I'm not a body. I'm healed. But you haven't corrected the belief yet, and you start eating sugar, you could die. You see? So it's like he gives us a formula where in lesson 135, he says sickness is a defense against the truth, and he gives us a very simple technique, which is to correct the beliefs, so you have to first see them, and then replace them with the truth. And so the beliefs are, I'm a body, I'm frail, I'm weak, I'm limited, I'm separate from other bodies, and I'm separate from my source. Those are the beliefs. And so if you're just using Course in Miracles sentences and you're just repeating them like a parrot, that will not heal you. Because that's like an ego trick. Because what that does, I'm not a body, I'm whole and perfect. Like, unless you really believe that, like, unless if you know, is that just a concept? Is that just a sentence that you're starting? Or do you know your wholeness? Do you know the light that you are? Because until then, if you're just quoting A Course in Miracles, you will never go down deep and find a fact. It's like, it's just like it's the way we stay asleep. And so, to dedicate yourself to finding all the areas of guilt, the little hidden grievances, the judgments that you have against others, against yourself, like really a commitment to do work. And I know almost all of you here, and that's what I love. There's like a total commitment. There's like this. And I have seen the changes in the Course in Miracles community. I'm very, very grateful. I had the honor last year of meeting the Foundation for Inner Peace co-presidents, Tamara Morgan and Bob Rosenthal, and I also have the new Course in Miracles book that's put out by the Circle of Atonement, which I love. And there was, for a moment, and maybe still a little bit, there's like a thing of like, well, competition. But when I got to hear Bob and Tamara talk about the Circle of Atonement and their work at the foundation, and that it's a new era, like they wouldn't take that job as, Tamara was, she's Judy Scutch's daughter, and she wouldn't take the job unless Bob was co-president with her. It's like everyone's getting it. The arc is entered 2 by 2. And Tamara said, I'm not going to do it unless Bob does it with me. And there are these totally young people, like 60, totally young energy, and they were admitting that the Foundation for Inner Peace has been like a fortress all these years, like nobody could get in there. And so they're recognizing that Jesus is the leader of this planet. Like we really have to come to this place where it's like, I have been called by God. Each and every one of us has been called by God. And you really get to the point where you say, okay, I'm really done with my toys. My toys of blame and shame and guilt and judgment and attacking. These are children's toys. And Jesus says, time to put our toys away. And so it really is the second coming, Vicky, like you said. Like it is a time of Mary, a time of grace. And so what happened for me, so I'm keeping my eye on the time, is I was having, so the major symptoms didn't go away, but I didn't care about them anymore. And Bill's amazing. Where are you, Bill? Like he said, when he was saying this morning, like he's got like poker face when you talk to him about a symptom. So back when I was having the major symptoms, I was vomiting, I was like fever up to here and whatever, and Bill doesn't respond. Like thank you for that, because it's like, he's holding the space for me. And when I don't focus on him, and I'm really just staying there, whole chunks start to fall away. But I was still having some symptoms. And but it was again a decision like, that has no power over me. I'm not going to wait for my life to start. One of my favorite quotes is by David Hawkins, is healing is unopposed aliveness. Love that. Health is unopposed aliveness. And that's what Jesus talks about in A Course in Miracles, is that the power of God is unopposed. But when you oppose it, you split it, and that's why you get sick. And so, just recently, I went on the Camino with 21 of us. Some of us are here in this room. And when I went there, was so far out of my routine. Before I left, I said, I'm really going off the grid. I'm not going to do any of the work I do. I'm not going to check the internet. I'm not checking my email. I'm just going. And I had 0 symptoms for 3 weeks. I ate everything. Like I have had, past tense, very strong beliefs about food. Because the internet tells me that there's a virus in me and the virus feeds on certain foods. So I have, over the years, been very careful with what I eat. And of course, when I happen to accidentally eat something, what happens? I feel guilty. Like, oh my God, I haven't been perfect. And so it's the guilt that's creating all these symptoms. So I go on the Camino. We walked 150 miles from Portugal to Spain. It was the most fun. And I ate everything. It was like so much joy. It was joy unopposed. I didn't have a plan in the morning. I wore the same clothes every single day for 3 weeks. Nobody cares. No makeup. No, it was just like, and you want to know what happened? On the plane home, all the symptoms came back again. Like I picked up unconsciously the thought system again. Mm-hmm. But I've dedicated my life to this work. So I'm like a scientist in the lab where I'm like, okay. And was Rod still here? There you are, Rod. I love that conversation we had last night because I told him the story and he said that it's like the conscious part that's conscious of the physical thing is like 10% and there's 90% underneath. And then I was talking to you also, Lee, last night, and you reminded me of chemicalization, which is a unity term. And chemicalization means that when you start on this path, that you make a commitment to remember the truth in your wholeness.
Yes.
Chemicalization is when everything starts to get stirred up, and it sometimes often looks worse than even before. So you have to make a commitment to this work to say, I'm all in, no matter what. Like, who's all in here? Yeah. And so, because you can't, like, I've thought about, like, creating a healing program and I am creating one. And I've thought about putting a time limit on it. I can't put a time limit on it. How do I know? It took me 5 years to come to the realization that I'm not going to heal the body anymore. So how can I determine how long it's going to take? But healing itself takes no time at all. So I just want to do a little writing exercise. Al, could you help me just start passing half the paper on this side and half? We only have a few moments. So and then if everybody can just grab a pen. And then can you pass half of them over? Okay, let me step them. And what I ask for you to do is to continue this exercise at home. So what you're doing is you're finding out your beliefs, and this particular one we're just going to do on healing. All right, so does anybody have any extra pens? Okay, there's one. Did you guys get a pen? You got one. Okay, Kimberly's got some.
Good?
Okay, so what I want you to do on one side of the paper at the top, just put a line through the whole first sheet of paper in the middle. Right down the middle.
She has.
And on one side at the top, I want you to put world beliefs on healing, or just world beliefs. On the second side of that line, you're going to put my personal beliefs. And on the back side of the paper, I want you to write the truth. So we're not going to have enough time to really go into like a whole thing. And you should be taking time anyways to really look at this. So I just want us to quickly, I want to just shout out, what are some of the world beliefs on healing?
Not possible.
Okay, healing takes a long time. I want you to just write down some that are yours that you believe, but we're just going to shout some out for now. Healing is difficult. Healing is what?
People who know more than we do.
If you go to a professional, you'll get better. I can't afford it.
Not guaranteed.
What?
Not guaranteed.
Healing is not guaranteed. You know what else Bill said yesterday? I did not think of this one. He said healing is necessary. The world thinks that. I thought that was a good one.
No power. No personal power.
The what?
No personal power.
No personal power. Yep. Okay, so now, healing takes a long time. Healing can only be done by special agents or special people. There are some things that are incurable. Good one.
Drugs heal.
These ones are world beliefs. Okay, now we're going to move over to your personal beliefs in healing. So, a personal belief in healing is I'm sick. That's one personal belief. And then what are your personal beliefs on healing? So like I said, I mentioned some of my personal beliefs on what they told me the condition was, and I believed it. So, for example, then this is a world belief on autoimmune is the body is attacking itself. That's a world belief. If you Google autoimmune, it will tell you the body is attacking itself, the cells are all confused. And I was like, okay, wow. And then I made up a whole story. Oh, I'm attacking myself, so it makes sense that the body is attacking itself because the mirror is... I went into this whole big story about it, but when I actually looked at it, I was like, that's just a belief. That's not the truth. The body can't attack itself. How is that possible? It's not possible, except as a belief. And so what I did was I found the belief, and then I corrected it with the truth. So what you want to do when you have just time alone in the quiet, I'm so grateful all the presenters here talked about that, the importance of the stillness. That's where everything happens. And to write down what are your personal beliefs on healing. And usually that will also include it's not possible, I'm not good enough, I don't know how. It happens for other people but not me. Certain foods, I'm allergic to certain foods.
Genetic.
You got one?
Inherited. Genetic. It runs in my family.
Yeah, exactly. So then on the back side of the paper, I want you to write the truth. What is the truth? The truth is, you're all light. That's the truth.
Let me pass out. I'm going to pass around a mic.
There's a mic, there's a wireless mic right there on the stand if Jody makes it hot.
Yeah, I can turn that up.
It's right on the stand right there.
I have 5 minutes.
Babe,
Ha!
that mic is right next to you.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
My body's for God's purpose, and as long as God wants me to be doing something, I'll be alive.
That's a personal belief. That's not the truth. So that's a personal belief. So the truth is the wholeness of you. Let's try another one. What's the truth about you? Like I'm eternal, I'm complete, I'm whole,
That I'm light, like you said. That I'm connected.
I'm loved. Yep.
I'm
Connected. Good.
Yeah.
Because I'm glad you brought that up, because that is actually a belief that a lot of spiritual people have, is that the body is for God, and if God needs my body, I'll be healthy. Like if that's needed, these are beliefs, but the body is literally nothing more than an out picture of our beliefs.
I'm a powerful co-creator with my source. I am powerful. Even my name.
Yep.
I am already whole. None of this sickness is real. It's an illusion, powerful but an illusion.
I love it. Thank you.
Spirit, I am eternal. I am love, and love cannot be sick.
Thank you, Shilpa. And so that's, and Jesus gives us these prayers. All the prayers from lesson 200 on are the truth about what we are. So if you don't know and you get stuck, just open the Course in Miracles and go to any of those later prayers and it will tell you, I am God's Son, complete and healed and whole, shining in the reflection of His love.
Amen.
That's the truth. In me is creation sanctified and guaranteed eternal life. I am the light of the world. And I invite you to carry these truths with you and to do this work now, like to join the Wright brothers in getting this plane off the ground. Okay? Because this is what it is. And so the one mind that we share is the work that you do in your one mind to say, I'm done with healing the body. That's it. Screw it. So that's my motto. Screw it. I'm all in. I'm going for it. And I'm just going to end this talk with Becky Johnson here because she's a healer. All of you are healers because all of you have the ability to help another remember their wholeness. But Becky a year ago stood up in our Course in Miracles group, and she's a self-proclaimed overweight person. Not anymore, but the old Becky was. And she heard about this Camino, and people were telling her she couldn't do it. And you know what she did? She stood up, took the microphone and said, I'm going. And I walked with her there. And she didn't change her body. She didn't change anything. She's so on fire. And here's the thing. The old Becky Johnson, I swear to God, is not here anymore. She comes back. She's got two brand new tattoos this week. And she's like, I'm going to go do the 500 miles now. That's what a healer looks like. That's what healed and whole and perfect looks like. You don't let your age stop you. You don't let your weight stop you. You don't let your condition stop you. You say, screw it, I'm going. Screw it, I'm going to be alive. So I love you guys. The what?
We were all the support.
And that's what's important.
It's part of healing is supporting too. Whether the spirit, you guys. I probably would not have made.
I would not have made it into Santiago if it was not for Lisa and Bill. Chocolate croissants. Dinner on the side of the road. Bill almost got run over. And Francis Crichton Stewart from Scotland. And all four of us walked into Santiago. We were supposed to be there at 11. We were late. We were in pain. But I had that support. And Lisa blessed us in some water on the side of the road.
Yeah.
So you gotta have your support to heal.
And that's so important, and that's the truth, and that's what we're all here to do. We're here to support each other in awakening, to remember our wholeness. So I just really encourage you to look at those workbook lessons 135, 36, and 37 if you're interested in healing, because Jesus really does give a very simple, correct the belief. So all day long, and Vicky says we're working for JC Central now. And that's what it is. We're employed 24/7. And you are constantly catching the belief when it comes in. And you just replace it with the truth. You do not let a single thought slip by your awareness now, okay?
Okay.
I love you.